Good morning, Bookie Monsters. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is PK, and we look at the new releases each week, genre by genre, day by day. Today is Tuesday, November 14th, so we are looking at mysteries. Yesterday we looked at cozy mysteries, and we'll probably continue to look at cozy mysteries as the week goes on because there's always a lot. But today is just straight mysteries. Just a quick announcement. We are doing sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. They'll be going for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, just close your eyes and recover from the day, whatever you want to do. It's your time carved out for your self-care. All right, let's look at some mysteries. Starting with David Baldacci. This is a 620-man thriller. It's called The Edge. The 620 man is back, dropped by his handlers into a small coastal town in Maine to solve the murder of a CIA agent who knew America's dirtiest secrets. Can Travis Devine uncover the truth before his time runs out? When CIA operative Jenny Silkwell is murdered in rural Maine, government officials have immediate concerns over national security. Her laptop and phone were full of state secrets that, in wrong hands, endanger the lives of countless operatives. In need of someone who can solve the murder quickly and retrieve the missing information, the U.S. government knows just the chameleon they can call on. Ex-Army Ranger Travis Devine spent his time in the military preparing to take on any scenario, followed by his short-lived business career chasing shadows in the deepest halls of power. So his analytical mind makes him particularly well-suited for complex, high-stakes tasks. Taking down the world's largest financial conspiracy proved his value, and in comparison, this case looks straightforward. Except small towns hold secrets, and Devine finds himself an outsider again. And it goes on for another paragraph. That sounds interesting. The Helsinki Affair by Anna Petoniak. Got a couple good spy versus spy options here. It's the case of Amanda's lifetime, but solving it will require her to betray another spy who just so happens to be her father. Spying is the family business. Amanda Cole is a brilliant young CIA officer following in the footsteps of her father, who was a spy during the Cold War. It takes grit to succeed in this male-dominated world. But one hot summer day, when a Russian defector walks into her post, Amanda is given the ultimate chance to prove herself. The defector warns of the imminent assassination of a U.S. senator. Though Amanda takes the warning seriously, her superiors don't. 24 hours later, the senator is dead, and the assassination is just beginning. Corporate blackmail, covert manipulation, corrupt oligarchs. The Kremlin has found a dangerous new way to wage war. Teaming up with Kath Frost, a fearless older woman and legendary spy, Amanda races from Rome to London from St. Petersburg to Helsinki, unraveling the international conspiracy. But as she gets closer and closer to the truth, a central question haunts her. Why was her father's name written down in the senator's notes? What does Carly Cole really know about the Kremlin plot? That looks really, really good. Good morning, Mary. Happy Tuesday. Oh, David Baldacci, a favorite of mine, and lives here. Oh, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Let me get rid of this banner. Val McDermott. Oh, I love that woman. I love listening to that woman talk. I have seen her in a crime fiction con. It must have been one of the Boucher cons. Oh, she could read the phone book to me, and I would be loving her. This is another DCI Karen Peary. Britain's reigning queen of crime, Val McDermott, is the award-winning, etc., etc. This is the 7th novel in the series. It's April 2020, and Edinburgh is in lockdown. It would seem like a strange time for a cold case to go hot. The streets are all but empty, an hour's outdoor exercise, the maximum allowed. But a mere pandemic doesn't mean crime takes a holiday. When a source at the National Library contacts DCI Karen Peary's team about documents in the archive of a recently deceased crime novelist, it seems it's game on again. At the center of it, a novel, 2 crime novelists facing off over a chessboard. But it quickly emerges that their real-life competition is drawing blood. What unspools is a twisted game of betrayal and revenge, and as Karen and her team attempt to disentangle fact from fiction, it becomes clear that their investigation is more complicated than they ever imagined. I think I read the first one. I am interested in anything really Val McDermott writes, but I am not interested in shut down fiction. Lived it, don't need to do it again. Sounds like we have a bunch of good ones to pick from. 'Tis the big publishing season, and we love it. We take it. We grab it with both hands. Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Lord by Celeste Connolly. Bridgerton meets Agatha Christie, first in a new Regency-era mystery series. London, 1815. Lady Petra Forsyth, daughter of the Earl of Holbrook, has made a shocking proclamation. After losing her beloved fiancé in an accident 3 years earlier, she announces in front of London's loosest lips that she will never marry. A woman of independent means and rather independent ways, Petra sees no reason to cede her wealth and freedom to any man now that the love of her life is gone. Instead, she plans to continue enjoying the best of society, without any expectations. But when ballroom gossip suggests that a longtime friend has died of a fit due to her melancholia while in the care of questionable physician, Petra vows to use her status to dig deeper, uncovering a private asylum where men pay to have their wives and daughters locked away or worse. Just as Petra has reason to believe her friend is alive, a shocking murder proves more danger is afoot than she thought. And the more determined Lady Petra becomes in uncovering the truth, the more her own headstrong actions and desire for independence are used against her, putting her own freedom and possibly her life in jeopardy. I've always loved Regency set mysteries, like strong female characters. My only concern here, not having read anything about other than this, is putting today's values and ideologies into a time period, forcing it into a time period where it would be absolutely not going. So, Perfect Shot by Steve Urzeni. What if the murder you had to solve was your own? Lou is a happily married mother of an adorable toddler. She's also the victim of a local serial killer. Recently brought back to life and returned to her grieving family by a government project, she is grateful for this second chance. What? But as the new Lou readapts to her old routines and as she bonds with other female victims, she realizes that disturbing questions remain about what exactly preceded her death and how much she can really trust those around her. Now it's not enough to care for her child, love her husband, and work the job she's always enjoyed. She must also figure out the circumstances of her death. Okay. Different. Cleo Coyle's newest in her coffee house mystery series, Bulletproof Barista. When a film crew's location shoot delivers an actual shooting, Claire Cozy finds herself at the scene of a true crime in the show-stopping entry in the beloved blah blah blah. Only Murders in Gotham, the smash hit streaming program, is famous for filming in authentic New York locations using real New Yorkers as extras. For its second season, they've chosen to spotlight the century-old Village Blend and its quirky crew of baristas. Shop manager and master roaster Claire Cozy is beyond thrilled, especially when her superb bulletproof coffee lands her a craft services contract for the production. Madame, the eccentric octogenarian owner of the landmark shop, reveals an old kinship with the star of the show, comedian Jerry Sullivan. Now a Hollywood legend, Jerry frequented the Blend during his early years performing in Greenwich Village comedy clubs. But the past may hold more than nostalgia for Jerry. Suspicious accidents begin plaguing his shoot. Then a real bullet is fired from a stage gun, and Claire becomes convinced something sinister is afoot. Murder Checks Out by Victoria Gilbert. It's not all snowflakes and sugar plums when murder crashes Taylorsford's first Winterfest, 8th in the Blue Ridge Library series. Returning to her role as an amateur detective is the last thing library director Amy Muir wants. She's already buried under an avalanche of responsibilities, including sharing the directorship of the local public library, parenting her holiday-obsessed 5-year-old twins, and helping her choreographer husband Richard present the Nutcracker as part of the town's festivities. With her frosty mother-in-law Fiona visiting for the holidays, Amy definitely has enough on her Christmas cookie plate. But when the chair of the festival committee is found as dead as Dickens' proverbial doornail at the town's ice rink, Amy is determined to uncover the real perpetrator to protect her brother-in-law, Ethan Payne, who was placed at the scene. Lots of family members here. The clock is ticking down as Sheriff Brad Tucker is equally sure that Ethan is guilty. The Girls Left Behind by Emily Gunnis. Heart-wrenching story of a girl disappeared, a terrible wrong, and powerful people with something to hide. No one believed the girls, but bones don't lie. The clock is ticking for Superintendent Joe Hamilton, who is just days from retirement from Sussex Police when the discovery of the bones of a young woman takes her back to a tragic unsolved case she worked on as WPC in the 1970s, the disappearance of a teenage girl from a notorious local children's home not long after another young resident died in suspicious circumstances. Joe is determined to track down the victim's sister, convinced that reopening the hushed-up wrongs of the past will uncover the truth of the girls' deaths. But will the trail lead her disturbingly close to home? That is it that they are saying on that one. Yep, we did not look at this one or that one. Okay. Because they're saying it's kind of fantasy-ish. Didn't do this one. Hard to pick just one I'm interested in this morning. Exactly. That's the thing. I read a book or two and then my TBR adds 4. But it's a good problem to have. The Professor by Lauren Nosset. For fans of Tana French. The professor investigates the darkest corners of academic life, ambition, lies, and obsession. In a spring afternoon in Athens, Georgia, Ethan Haddock is discovered in his apartment dead, apparently by his own hand. His fatality immediately garners media attention, not because his death reflects the troubling increase of depression and mental health issues among college students, but because the media has caught the whiff of a scandal. His professor, Dr. Verena Sobek, has been taken in for questioning, and there are rumors his death is the result of a bad romance. A Title IX investigation is opened, the professor is suspended, and social media crusaders and trolls alike are out for blood. Marlette Kaplan never investigated love affairs. A former detective turned research assistant, she misses the excitement of her old job, but most of all the friendship of her partner, Teddy. When her mother, a professor at the University and College of the accused professor, asks for her help, she finds herself in the impossible position of proving something didn't happen. Without the credentials to interview suspects or access phone records, she will have to get closer to a victim's life than ever before. And she quickly finds herself in his apartment having dinner with his roommates, even sleeping in his bed. But is she too close to? Yeah. Okay. Let's go over here and see if we've missed any here. Where the corn grows the tallest. Kindle Unlimited. Nope, that one was out in September. Her Last Lie. Kindle Unlimited. Out in October. What's up with these peoples? One more shot here. Yep, none of these. Okay. So let's go back to cozies. All right. We looked at serving up Sprite, I believe. Spiked Punch by Leslie A. Deal. First in Maddie Sparks series. On the other side of 70, Maddie Sparks decides to spice up her life by changing her writing interests from cozy mysteries to romance. She already sounds interesting. She also determines her appearance should reflect this transformation in her writing career. A sassy new haircut and more fashionable clothes complete the newer Maddie Sparks. But before she can begin this new chapter in her life, a stabbing death in the quiet country village she has made her home shocks the town's residents. When her son is accused of the murder, Maddie and the acting county sheriff come together to find the real killer. Their relationship soon blooms into more than one of a shared determination to solve the murder, etc., etc. That might be worth checking out more. Murder Checks Out. We checked out that one. The Stuff of Murder. It's a pretty blue. By Kathleen Marple, called First in the Old Stuff Mystery. When Hollywood comes to small town Connecticut, it should be the stuff of dreams. But when a fading movie star ends up dead, a whole different kind of stuff hits the fan. Unity Historical Society head and antique household items stuff expert Christian Shaw is on set when actor Brett Studebaker falls from the pulpit during a streaming service shoot in an old church. The dads she should have had, Garrett and Ed, her son Henry, who has a photographic memory and type 1 diabetes, who cares, and her colorful friends end up helping Assistant State's Attorney Joel Poley track the killer. Along for the ride, her giant tuxedo cat Cookie, Ed and Garrett's big red mutt Norm, and Joe's tiny dog Cannoli. Woodworking, embroidery, old poisons, and vintage weapons all figure in the case, which come together in a wild scene. Who cares? They lost me. They might have not lost you, so check it out if it sounds interesting. This is just my opinion. Murder on the Books by Christine Knapp. Third in the Modern Midwives Mysteries. Books and Bells, Midwives, and Murder. Maeve O'Reilly Kensington has fully recovered from her heart-pounding escape from a murderer last summer. Now she and her husband Will are happily adapting to life as parents of an 8-month-old, while also preparing for the birth of their second daughter. Will's catering business, A Time for All Seasons, is booming, and Maeve's midwifery practice has blossomed under new hospital leadership. It's winter in the seaside New England town of Langford, and the holidays are fast approaching. Maeve decides to make a last-minute dash to the Langford Library just before closing time and discovers the body of C2 Digital, of the well-loved library director in the snow. Did she have a medical issue? Did she fall? Is murder on the books? A tangled web is weaved, and Maeve and her wealthy, forthright sister Meg are stymied at every turn. At the same time, jewelry thieves may have targeted the Hanville Grove Senior Center, where Maeve and Meg's mother and the ladies of the lobby reside, etc., etc. It's a pretty cover. Grave mistake. Under 100 Pages by Karen McSpade, 8th in the Crystal Beach Magic Mystery Series. Novella. We move on. Game Over at Guild Hall. Cover's got my attention. By Amy Patricia Mead, 3rd in the Vermont Country Living Mystery. In rural Vermont, where hunting and trapping are a way of life, nothing is bigger than the annual wild game supper at Guild Hall. Stella can't wait to sample the exotic dishes prepared by her neighbors, but when the longtime organizer of the supper falls dead, a victim of poisoning, Stella's appetite, along with a room full of suspects, vanishes. Then that night, that doesn't make any sense. Then that same night, someone ransacks the hall's kitchen, presumably to destroy any evidence, and spots Stella snooping. Now she fears she may be the next target. Certain the only way to save herself is to find the culprit. Stella digs into the victim's life, hoping to discover who might have wanted him dead. It turns out he'd made countless enemies over the years, as they do. As volunteers at the event were run ragged, and hunters who wanted their food included were shunned. What's more, Stella discovers the victim had unearthed a shameful and long-buried secret at the hall itself, etc. Double Mocha Blues. Also library directors. You've got a background in that. You can tell if these are authentic or not. By Tiora Moody, 1st in the Joss Miller Mysteries. Jocelyn Joss Miller, a 20-something barista, works at Sugar Creek Cafe, a hip coffee house with deep ties to the local arts and music community. Joss is finally feeling like she's found her purpose as her recently launched podcast soars in popularity. With her family's blessings, Joss produces a special tribute to her grandfather. What seems like a step towards healing instead sets off a firestorm of reactions in the community. There are a few who would rather not be reminded of how Joss's grandfather had been murdered years ago. When the staunchest protester is found dead, Joss becomes the number one suspect. Well, that sounds interesting. These boots were made for Witchet. Second in the Magnolia Bay Cozy Mysteries. I think that came out last week, so we're going to move on. Let Sleeping Dogs Lie. This is probably our last one of the day since we are kind of running out of time here. I like the cover. I really do. I like the simplicity of it. By Peggy Rothschild. Molly Madison is on the trail of another criminal. When Molly's newest dog goes missing in Hillside Park, her Saint Berdoodle and his amazing nose help her track the border collie. After locating the dog, Molly literally stumbles across an old leather satchel stuffed with $100 bills. Her ex-boyfriend, Detective Miguel Vasquez, turns up to investigate and lets slip that the money could be part of the Schlossberg ransom. While the cops spread out to search the area, Molly reads about the crime, learning a wealthy man's son was abducted on his way home from school a decade earlier. Though the father gathered the demanded ransom, neither the teen nor his kidnappers were ever found. When the cops find human bones not far from where Molly discovered the money, Vasquez asks her to bring Noodle back to search a larger swath of the brushy terrain. They find a number of miscellaneous items before the Saint Berdoodle locates a skull. When a good friend asks her to investigate, Molly dives in, questioning the missing teen's old friends, teachers, and family. With her loyal dogs as backup, she digs deeper, uncovering someone desperate enough to keep past secrets buried. This intrigues. Oh shoot! It comes out in December. Sorry, but this does intrigue me because I love cold cases. I was intrigued and forgot to notice early state. Oh well. All right. That's all we have time for today. Thank you guys for tuning in or watching it later. Appreciate it. Please hit the like button. And share if you feel like it. Let people know. I hope this is content that you guys are interested in. There's nobody really out there doing new releases. I'm always interested in what's out there. I love watching booktubers, but they all seem to be reading the same book sometimes. So I just want to know what I would be interested in reading. So hopefully this is something you might be liking to see. If you do, drop me a note, etc., etc. We do have sprints tonight, as I mentioned at the beginning. It's at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. It'll go for 2.5 hours. We do sprints on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, and then Saturday afternoons. On sprints last night on somebody else's channel, they brought up that Sarah at Bookish Knitter will be doing sprints on Christmas Eve, which is a Sunday, which reminded me that Thanksgiving next week, of course, is on a Thursday, and I will be doing sprints, and I'll probably be starting earlier in case you don't, if you want to break from your family or you don't have family and just want to hang out. I haven't quite decided the time, but I'm thinking about 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll see how that goes. But I will be here on Thanksgiving, and it'll be a longer session. So plan ahead. Mary says, have a great day. Hope to see you later. Hope to catch the sprints tonight. And thanks for this morning. Oh, you betcha. Thank you, Mary, so much for showing up. I appreciate that so much. So everybody, please have a good Tuesday. Read good books. Set it down if it's not working for you. You don't get good person points if you're reading something you're not enjoying. Reading is fun. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.